you could step back in a children's wonderland and look at the things that you have read about in the storybooks and the movies. We're here today at Har's Pottery and Souvenirs in Pleasant Valley, Kentucky. And I'm standing beside of Snow White. And out here are the 7 dwarves. Don't ask me all of their names. I know there's Dopey and Sleepy and Doc and several others, but nonetheless, they are on view here at the pottery shop. It's really a treat to come out and see the different items that you can buy for your front lawn here at Har's Pottery. I'm going to get it. It's going to end up being a blooper here. Pottery shop here in Pleasant Valley. You like riding horses? Well, how about putting this fella in your front lawn? I'm sure that you will find that he would make an interesting centerpiece for your lawn. Maybe you're interested in cowboys and cowgirls. Well, this is certainly something you can add if you can see the cowgirl and the cowboy statues that are here. Maybe your taste runs toward animals and you like to have a large dog. Well, this is certainly bigger than the Alpo puppy, but this is an interesting fellow, and you could paint him up to your color of breed of dog and really set your front lawn off. It's interesting to walk into the world of characters and animals here, and we're going to look around for just a few minutes and see what we can find. The earliest settlers in this country were the Indians. We have a guest with us today here at the Valley. Sir, could you tell us from what tribe you're from? Well, maybe he would like to comment about how times has changed since his ancestors lived here. Well, maybe he would like to comment on the fact that he enjoys sitting here on the front porch each day. Maybe he just enjoys sitting here saying nothing. History. How about a bust of John F. Kennedy? Other items, animals are on the table. How about our good friend Mickey Mouse? Or maybe a frog. It's all here. The pottery shop is located on US 60, just east of Pleasant Valley, on the way to Carter Caves. If you haven't been by for a while, or if you've lived in this area maybe for years, you've not stopped by, you're going to find a whole land of interesting items to look at here. Opal Har is the operator, and she has an abundant supply of different items that you would be very interested in. Planters, statues, water fountains, whatever. A day of interest, a day of learning. Here at Har's Pottery and Souvenir Shop. This is Gary Irwin, TV 14.
Another attraction you will see at Har's Pottery here in Pleasant Valley. Behind me in the cages, you'll see all different types of animals, ranging from peacock, who, if you can see, hidden just around there, struts around with her. Over there in the other cages, there is chickens and rabbits. And you can see them in these cages. They have all different types of tails, all sorts of beaks, and all sorts of colors. They're very interesting to see. And over here, if you remember in the 12 Days of Christmas, Snow White Turtle Dove, well, looky there. That looks like one. Is geese. So like in the story, The Ugly Duckling reminds me of that. No, there's the peacock again. Hard telling's what you'll see when you're out here at Har's Pottery. News. It's amazing how flowers can pop out of blacktop. You have to see it to believe it, and that's exactly what you will do now. It's amazing how the young tender shoots can be chewed up by a lawnmower but pop out of asphalt. It's a mystery, isn't it? Why? Flower just popping out of the blacktop. And if it was only one little incident, but my friends, this is all the way up the roadway. How is it doing it? It's a mystery within himself. This is Chris Irwin for Channel 14.
It doesn't seem like it's been long ago that we were just putting things away for the winter. But believe it or not, spring is here, and it won't be too many more weeks. We'll be seeing summer activities beginning. This is Gary Irwin for Centel 14, and we're here at the City Park in Olive Hill, Kentucky. In the pool area, they're beginning to spruce it up. New paint and all types of renovation work is taking place here at the City Park. In the days ahead, we're going to be showing you on future programs some of the new things that are being installed here at the City Park. Some of the new kiddie park activities here, the rides and so forth, to improve the park, and it's just an ideal place for the kids here in Olive Hill to come by and enjoy an afternoon, especially when school will be out. After the middle of June, we'll have some activities out here at the park. A lot of people don't realize that this park exists right here in the middle of Olive Hill. So as the spring progresses, we're going to be showing you some of these improvements. This is Gary Irwin for Centel 14.
Hi, my name is Jeff Irwin, and we're here at City Park in Olive Hill, and as Gary was saying, that they was talking about the pool and the kiddie rides. Well, they've been remodeling here since I've been here. They used to have these things not painted, and now they're painted, and the sliding boards, I think they're renewed, and yeah, but they haven't did one thing yet. Back here they've been painting, and also when I was here last, they had these basketball goals probably tore down. You know, they was limping, and now they got new basketball goals. And see, I have so much fun here because I'm a kid too, you know. And also they have lots of kiddie rides, you know. For the younger groups, they go on these slides if they want to, or they can go on that big slide. So, and I think there's been someone flying their kite, and it got caught up in the tree, and they've just been remodeling all the time. So, I guess the kids will have too much fun here, not just boring old stuff. This is Jeff Owen for Centel Cable, Channel 14.
The forces of evil are trying to destroy many homes today. They've tried mine and many others. I dedicate this song to my wife and all the other wives who have prevailed through these trials. I guess I've always known that God is love, and I've been told that he loves me, but I never knew how true it was till God gave me you. God gave me you. God gave me you to show his love for me. God gave me you. He could have given me a star above, or the sun or the moon, but instead he chose to show his love when he gave me you. God gave me you. God gave me you to show his love for me. God gave me you. He could have given me a star above, or the sun or the moon, but instead he chose to show his love when he gave me you. God gave me you. God gave me you to show his love for me. God gave me you. He could have given me a star above, or the sun or the moon, but instead he chose to show his love when he gave me you. God gave me you. God gave me you to show his love for me. God gave me you. And he gave me you. God gave me you.
Here's a news update from Channel 14. You're looking at the new building that will be housing the expansion of Cowden Industry, as Cowden Sewing Manufacturing will be expanding its operations, adding 80 to 100 new jobs. Congratulations, Cowdens. Coming up, community announcements on Community Action TV. If you have announcements, write to us at Route 4, Box 233, Olive, Kentucky, or call us at 286-5201. Girls softball on April the 22nd will be signing up at 12 noon at the Oliveville Elementary Ball Field. There'll be two divisions, Division 1, kindergarten through the 3rd grade, and Division 2, grades 4, 5, and 6. That's on April 22nd at 12 noon. A revival in progress at the First Baptist Church in Oliveville. Now through April the 23rd, the evangelist is Al Geisler. Many concerts each evening at 6:45 p.m. Services start at 7. A nursery is provided. Bob Donovan is the pastor. There'll be a revival at the Globe Christian Church in Globe, Kentucky. Jerry Bowling will be the evangelist. Starts at 7 p.m. each evening. It will begin on April the 23rd through the 29th. Gary Wall is the pastor. Carter County Schools have announced that they will dismiss for summer vacation on June the 13th on Tuesday. You're watching Channel 14 in Oliveville, Kentucky, Community Access Television. Good evening, Oliveville. We're glad to have you aboard.
Your drink is popcorn for the way. You want a drink? You drink this for a while.
You're kidding. You're kidding.
Yeah, what's your name?
You're kidding. You're kidding.
Bethany.
Come on. Maggie.
What? Where? Stranded enemies. Is there a black one in here somewhere? That albino, is it? They're albino, or what are they called?
Shark, really. One of the freshwater sharks.
Was you scared?
No, man, I just,
You just were stunned, weren't you?
I was stunned. When he first brought it up, I was stunned.
It tipped.
That was,
46 exactly.
Yeah.
As much as you can stretch.
Stretch
46
me out there real good.
exactly. Oh, man, ain't that big. 9 inches across his head. 7 inches inside of his mouth.
What was yours?
10 and 13.
Yeah. Hiding back over here. What's the choices there?
I think it's number 2. Yeah. Number 2. Number 2. Number 3.
A Polish astronomer proved that the Earth moved around the sun and all the other planets, that the sun was the center of our solar system. And so we know that now. We know that the Earth moves in 2 different ways. What 2 different ways does the Earth move? Oh, now, come on, y'all know. 2 ways, okay. That's right. It rotates on its own axis and it revolves around the sun. Now, we've made great strides in studying the planets in the last 25 years. What?
It's time now for community announcements, a public service of Community Access Television, Channel 14. If you'd like to write us, write my hometown, Route 4, Box 233, Olive Hill, Kentucky, or you can contact us at 286-5201. There's a church dedication at the New Life Victory Church on Main Street in Olive Hill. It has relocated there this past week. It's located next to the Carter County Clinic, Dr. Ann Coburn's office. The dedication service will be on May the 7th at 10:30 a.m. with a dinner following the morning service. Bob Stapleton, pastor. A revival in progress at the First Christian Church in Olive Hill, Kentucky. Dave Shanklin is the pastor. Services begin at 7 p.m. nightly now through May the 7th. Revival in progress at the Olive Hill Wesleyan Church now through May the 7th. Kenny Hamilton is the evangelist. The services are nightly at 7 p.m. Frank McKinney is the pastor. Coming up, Olive Hill Magazine, a visit to Egypt at Olive Hill Elementary. John Slone plays again, and a look back at 1985. Tonight on Olive Hill Magazine, we present Ramses the Great. Mrs. Diane Green, Mrs. Linda Browning sponsors with the Olive Hill Elementary 5th and 6th grade special project. The following is a presentation by the 6th grade reading students of Mrs. Diane Green and with help from Mrs. Linda Browning's Chapter 1 reading students from Olive Hill Elementary School. Mrs. Green, along with many of her other teachers throughout Kentucky, 520 to be exact, wrote and applied for a mini grant in which 31 teachers received the grants. Mrs. Green, who visited the Boston Museum of Science in Boston, Massachusetts last year, decided to make an exhibit based on the Ramses the Great exhibit that was on tour in Boston at that time. After applying for and receiving the $500 grant, Mrs. Green ordered supplies, assigned projects to the individual student groups. The tour began with a video, and then to the gym where an introduction of Egypt and a display of the gods. Material and books were exhibited, vocabulary was recited, and an exhibit of how Egyptians raised 3-ton blocks to build pyramids. The tour continued on the stage where the main exhibit was held. The exhibits were the Game of Senate, the 7 ancient wonders of the world, in which 2 were found in Egypt, the pyramids and the lighthouse of Alexandria. 3, ancient Egyptian symbols, the hieroglyphics and the Rosetta Stone, the penance timeline of ancient Egypt, the mummy of an Egyptian child, famous couples in which Mark Antony and Cleopatra were in real-life costumes, Egyptian drawings, Egyptian numerals demonstrated on a scroll, the crowns of Egypt and the scarabs, the cartouches, the paddle dials, a clay sculpture of Nefertiti, Egyptian royalty, mummification room where mummification was explained, and a mummy and mummy case were exhibited. The Colossus of Memphis, which was a statue of Ramses the Great cut from wood. Finally, the tour ended in another room in which a slide presentation of the exhibit in Boston was given of the actual objects from Egypt that were on tour in the U.S. last year. Our many thanks to the Kentucky Educational Council, Mr. Poling, Mr. Caudle, Mr. Short, and shop students, parents, teachers, and anyone who helped in any way. Signed, Diane Green and Linda Browning. And coming up next now, a video tour of the Ramses the Great exhibit that was on exhibit last week, Thursday and Friday, at Olive Hill Elementary School in Olive Hill, Kentucky. Coming up next on Olive Hill Magazine. Welcome to the Ramses exhibit, The Great Day. A video will follow this tour of the exhibit.
Ramses exhibit, and you will see a video, a 10-minute presentation on this program. But before that, we have some people to introduce to you that are our guides, who shows the videos and presents the slides. We'll now continue our tour to the stage.
Exhibit, makeup must be applied. Here's Shannon Smith applying to Amanda Collinsworth, who played the part of Cleopatra.
To our exhibit. During your tour through our exhibit, you will see pictures, paintings, statues, and more. The table in front of you is a table full of books and references we use during our study. A poster of actual news clippings and articles from Egypt. Poster of current events and activities we did during class. This is a poster of the goddess Osiris. Osiris is the mother of Horus. Horus is the statue you see behind me. He was the god of light and heaven. He was the first Egyptian god to be recognized as a national god. His parents was Iris and Osiris. He was called the great king of gods, king of the lands, and king of the world, who span his wings across the sky and covers the land with his pinions. His sacred bird was the falcon. He was pictured either as a falcon or in a human body, with the falcon's head capped by the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt. poster, you see pictures of our 6th grade class working on their projects. On this poster, you see actual souvenirs that Miss Green brought back from the Boston Museum of Science. On this poster, you see other gods that you will be seeing and hearing about during your tour. This is the god Anubis. In ancient Egypt, destiny begins with this life, yet the beginning of another, in which the Egyptians must be prepared for this next life. Anubis, in Egyptian mythology, was known as the god of the dead. It was also the job of Anubis to weigh the heart of the dead against the feather of truth.
To get to Cairo, Egypt, you have to cross northern Atlantic Ocean. In the Black String, you will find Egypt. Egypt is on the continent of Africa. Egypt covers about 8,000 square miles. If you were comparing Egypt to Massachusetts, Massachusetts would be a little bit bigger.
Some of the Egyptian words we have learned: commit, dark land, black soil; geyser, great pyramid; ray, the main god, sun god; barter, trade goods because there were no money; corvée, tax paid in the form of labor; dynasty, a series of rulers in the same family; deities, gods and goddesses; galleys, long ships.
5,000-pound sandstone block, which was used to build the Great Pyramids. How would you do it without using cranes or other machinery? You could not put big wheels on the bottom of these great rocks. You'd have to use something similar called rollers, which they're going to improve a straight path.
Sin is a game that was played in ancient Egypt. It was played by both the rich and the poor. Like its descendant backgammon, Sin, or passing, is a game of chance and skill for 2 players. The gaming equipment consists of 4 finger-like dice sticks, 7 pieces for each player, and a board of 30 squares or houses.
Egyptians played board games about 5,000 years ago. Of all the games, one called Senate was the favorite. Kings, queens, and ordinary citizens entertained themselves with this game.
Over many centuries, Senate also came with religious meanings. To Egyptians, the game represented the souls passing through the underworld. The winner gained eternal life.
This is our game board. We made this ourselves, which we ran it off from the Boston Museum of Science gave us one, and we copied it off of a Xerox machine.
Colored it and mounted it on plywood. We made these pieces, and these are chess pieces we colored gold, and these are Scrabble pieces we colored black, and these are throw sticks, which we made our popsicle sticks and decorated. This concludes the exhibit on Senate.
This is the 10th Lion. It was built in 400 BC, around 400 BC, and destroyed in 262 BC. The temple has a statue made of the likeness of Diana. It is made from plate of white marble and outlined in gold. In 1865, archaeologists found the remains of the temple diana.
It was built in 224 BC by the people of Rhodes. It was built because their friend Ptolemy saved the island in a battle against thousands of people from another island. The statue is made completely of bronze, but you cannot see the statue of Rhodes today. It was destroyed in an earthquake.
This is the pyramid. It was used as a burial tomb for kings, queens, nobles, and pharaohs of Egypt. The first pyramid built was in 2650 BC for King Zoser. It was built by Imhotep, a great architect, physician, and statesman. The blocks that were used to build the pyramid were more than 5,000 pounds, and it took over 20 years to build them.
This is the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. It was built around 600 BC by King Nebuchadnezzar and his men. King Nebuchadnezzar and his men built the Hanging Gardens of Babylon because his wife grew very homesick for the mountains and gardens of her country. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon were 35 stories high and was located in Southeast Asia by the Euphrates River.
This is the statue of Zeus. Thousands of years ago, people believed that a god named Zeus watched over the sky and lived there. A Greek sculptor and his men carved a statue of Zeus at a place called Olympia in Greece. No one had ever seen a statue this large, made entirely of ivory and gold. The people around Olympia had a festival to honor Zeus. Today, more than 2,000 years later, nations still meet every 4 years for the Olympic Games.
This is the Lighthouse of Alexandria. The lighthouse stood about 440 feet high on the island of Pharos in the harbor of Alexandria, Egypt. It became so famous that the word Pharos came to mean lighthouse. The structure, designed about 270 BC by the Greek architect Stratos, rose from a large stone platform with 3 sections. The bottom section was square, the middle occasional, which means 8-sided, and the top circular. A fire on top provided light. An earthquake occurred and caused the lighthouse to fall in the ocean. You could see the flame from the ship for 60 miles. It was the most famous lighthouse in the world, and it guided ships into the harbor for over 1,000 years.
This is the tomb of Moses. This building is a tomb of a famous king named Moses. It was built out of marble and gold and stands 135 feet tall. In the chariot rides King Moses. When King Moses died, his queen ordered a tomb be made for him that would be known all over the world. The name Moses means mausoleum. Mausoleum means burial tomb above the ground.
A symbol is a sign that stands for an idea or an object. Nation and religions use a variety of pictorial symbols to identify themselves and to express their ideas. The letters of the alphabet are symbols of sound. People combine letters to form words that also represent ideas and objects.
These are some Egyptian symbols. This is a reed leaf, stands for J and I. This is a pair of shorts, stands for K. This is a line, stands for L. This is water, stands for N. This is a musical instrument, stands for S. This is a loaf of bread, stands for T. These are written in hieroglyphics.
In ancient Egypt, symbols were used for many different reasons and causes. Before people could write, they drew pictures of things that were important to them. Egyptians used such a system called hieroglyphic writing. In many ancient lands, only a few people knew how to write. These people were nobles or record keepers called scribes. Some scribes had to memorize 2,000 different symbols. About 4,000 years ago, people living near the Mediterranean Sea began inventing an alphabet.
Hieroglyphics consist mostly of consonants. For example, the word store would be spelled S-T-R, and the word steer would also be spelled S-T-R. To avoid confusion, the Egyptians created words called the hieroglyphs.
Hieroglyphics can be written left to right, right to left, or top to bottom. To read hieroglyphics, look at the direction objects are facing and read into them. This poster shows a comical picture of 2 Egyptians talking in hieroglyphics. It also shows a comical form of what the Egyptians looked like and how they dressed.
This is the Book of the Dead. It represents the dead that died in Egypt. This is Ken Num shaping child and K on potter's quill.
The Rosetta Stone gave the world the key to a long-forgotten language of ancient Egypt. A French officer of Napoleon's court discovered it in 1799, half buried in the mud near the mouth of the Nile River. On the stone is carved a decree by Egyptian priests to commemorate the crowning of Ptolemy V Epiphanes, king of Egypt, from 203 to 181 BC.
The first inscription is in hieroglyphics. The second is in demonic, a popular language at that time. At the bottom of the Rosetta Stone is carved in black basalt 11 inches thick.
These are falcon pendants. The falcon pendants were worn around the necks of the king and queen's mummies between the 11th and 12th layer of bandages. It represents the falcon goddess of Upper Egypt and was probably worn by the king during his lifetime. This is the timeline for ancient Egypt. Here are some important dates for Egypt. These are boats that come down from time, starting at 3000 BC and ending at 1977 AD.
This is Ramses' 12-year-old son that was killed by the Pharaoh's curse. We made this out of aluminum foil newspapers and paper mache with strips of sheets wrapped around it.
This is our exhibit on Mark Antony, Cleopatra, and other famous couples.
The story of Cleopatra's romance with Mark Antony has survived for over 2,000 years. There are many other famous couples who live on in history, literature, and art.
Mark Antony and Cleopatra met in the year of 41 BC. Mark Antony married Cleopatra in 36 BC. Mark Antony went to war with Octavian, his past sister-in-law. In 31 BC, Mark Antony lost a naval battle on the west coast of Greece. After being defeated, he fled. Later, he heard the rumor that Cleopatra had died, and he died of sorrow. Later, Cleopatra killed herself of unhappiness.
Here are some other famous couples. Romeo and Juliet was a fictional couple created by William Shakespeare in a play called Romeo and Juliet. Charles and Diana are Prince and Princess of Wales and Great Britain. Mickey and Minnie are fictional characters created by Walt Disney in 1928. Napoleon and Josephine. Napoleon was a French dictator. Dagwood and Blondie are fictional cartoon characters in a comic strip called Blondie. George and Martha Washington. George Washington was the first president of the United States. Ozzie and Harriet are both fictional and fact. Ozzie and Harriet starred in a television show called Ozzie and Harriet. Rhett and Scarlet are fictional characters in a movie and book written by Margaret Mitchell called Gone with the Wind.
Ferdinand and Isabella. Ferdinand was a famous ruler of Spain. Ferdinand was a famous ruler of Spain. Henry II and Eleanor. Henry II was an English king during the Middle Ages. Winston and Clementine. Winston was the Prime Minister of Great Britain.
This concludes our project on Mark Antony and Cleopatra and other famous couples.
This is what the gold mask of King Tut looked like. Archaeologists discovered the mask in the open tomb in 1922. The man who opened the tomb was Har Pottery. The mask is now in an Egyptian museum in Cairo. These are some of the pictures in the museum.
The Nile was the lifeblood of ancient Egypt. It provided fish, water, transportation, papyrus, lotus, as well as revitalized the men performing.
Anubis had the head of the jackal and was the god of embalming and cemeteries. He also guided the mummy to Osiris and presided over the weighing of the heart. Figures of Anubis are commonly placed in the tombs. The sacred animal was the jackal.
This wooden statue was found in ancient Egypt nearly 4,000 years ago. These people are native Egyptians. They are dressed in contemporary clothes of Egypt. Egyptians always dress in high colors.
Egyptians invented a numeral system. This system was based upon 10. This did not include a 0. With this system, for example,
They could write any numeral based upon the fish with a tide column. 100,000. The Egyptians could put numerals in any place where their value did not depend on their position.
This is a tally. This is a heel bone.
This is a coil of rope, and this is a lotus flower. This is a bent stick or finger. This is a fish or a tadpole, and this is an astonished man.
This is a tally carved in a rock. As you can see over here, the tally had great influence on the number 1 symbol that we use today.
The Egyptian pharaohs began to wear a ceremonial crown of both Upper and Lower Egypt. The white crown of Upper Egypt was placed on the head first. The red crown of Lower Egypt was fitted over and around the white one. The pharaoh wore the double crown to show that he was the ruler of both Egypts. In wartime, the double crown was set aside, and the pharaoh donned the blue one, which was known as the war crown.
Tradition tells us that a king named Menes came to Upper and Lower Egypt about 3100 BC and formed a united kingdom. Egypt didn't develop as a nation until about 3100 BC. Egypt has been divided into 2 small states that finally combined into 2 large areas. One of the 2 states, Upper Egypt, include a territory south of the delta on 2 banks of the Nile. The other state, Lower Egypt, occupied the delta with much of its swampland.
These are scarab beetles. Scarab beetles laid their young in cane matter, which signified rebirth or life after death. One of the ways they used the scarab beetles during mummification. During mummification, after an organ from the body was moved, it was replaced by a large scarab beetle. Scarab beetles are still used today as semi-precious stones in jewelry and as good luck charms.
These are cartouches. They're an oval-shaped frame with their name in hieroglyphics.
Paddle dolls. These paddle dolls were not for playing, they were for a more serious purpose. They were made as company for the dead. These dolls were buried in the tombs of pharaohs and nobles for the purpose of serving their masters in their afterlife. These dolls were painted to look like farmers, bakers, potters, and others who would work and serve for important people in their new afterlife.
They are shaped like a paddle, so they cannot run away. These dolls are made from thin pieces of wood. The shop boys' carvings that we painted them, their hair can be made out of strings and beads.
Nefertiti was an ancient Egyptian queen. She was the wife of Amenhotep IV. Amenhotep ruled from 1367 to 1350 BC. He was the first to preach monotheism. Nefertiti was a strong supporter in Amenhotep's teachings and assisted him in many new religious ceremonies. The reign of Nefertiti and Amenhotep is called the Amarna Revolution because of the changes in art, religion, and social practices they made.
Nefertari served several sculptured portraits. The limestone head of Nefertari kept in the Berlin Museum, and the unfinished head of the queen kept in the Cairo Museum are among the best known.
A statue of Nefertiti's head, which was found in ancient ruins, is well known throughout the world. Nefertiti is famous for her beauty and for the fact she was the mother-in-law of King Tut. She was the wife of the pharaoh named Amenhotep. Amenhotep before changed his name to Akhenaten in honor of the god, in honor of the sun god. Nefertiti and Akhenaten had 6 daughters. The third daughter's name was Ankhesenaten, and since women were not allowed to rule, Tut became king. Tut was about 19 when he died. The throne of Egypt.
The Colossus of Memphis is a magnificent 57-ton granite statue of Ramses II that once stood near the Temple's Hall in Egypt's ancient capital. At 24 feet 7 inches, the sculpture towered over heads of passers-by, inspiring awe and respect. Although the common people were not allowed to enter the temple, they could worship Ptah, creator of the world and patriot god of Memphis. Through the powerful pharaoh Ramses the Great appears as he wanted the world to remember him young and proud.
The hieroglyphics on the wall says, "Welcome to Olive Hill Elementary, 6th grade Ancient Egypt exhibit." And up here, it says, "This is a replica of a tomb for the pharaohs."
In their respect, the great sarcophagus of the Egyptian dynasties are outstanding, for it was a standard practice of them to embellish an actual portrait of the dead. The sarcophagus were usually beautifully carved or carpentered and covered inside and out with elaborate designs and text. The renderings of the face, particularly the separate mask called the carnage mask, were usually fastened to the mummy.
A mummy was placed in a sarcophagus along with objects of daily use. Ancient Egyptians believed they would need this equipment in the next world. A mask was placed on the head of the body. The mask was covered with trinkets and beads.
Smile, because you act like you're dead.
After the process of mummification. But later, each finger and toe was covered with a golden wand, as each leg and hand. Then the head was covered with a gold portrait mask, which was lowered into a set of nesting coffins, which later was placed in a large granite sarcophagus that laid in the tomb.
So they could be on
In the slides, we're going to see some pictures of ancient Egypt. The first picture is a statue of Ramses. Here you see some of the land formations in Egypt. There's that actual. Of his many wives, Nefertiti was Ramses' second favorite based upon the many monuments he built in her honor. Her tomb at the Thebes contains some of the finest paintings of the Ramses side era. Ramses the Great with his family at his feet from temple at AD symbol. These are more carvings at the temple at AD symbol. This is a granite and limestone statue. Ramses was under the towering figure of the Nefertiti.
This is a limestone statue of Mary Timon, daughter-in-law of Francis II. It is 29.5 inches tall and 11 inches wide and is at the Cairo Museum. Francis II golden lapis bracelets, golden lapis lazuli suits. Golden collar of Sicilian first, it was worn by a king or a god or an official who received it for bravery. This necklace weighed about 20 pounds and has thousands of gold rings band together. Earrings of King Seti II. This is an example of papyrus Egyptians used to do or show human arts.
This past week, we received telephone calls concerning John Slone. John is a 6th grade student at Olive Hill Elementary. We're going to have him tonight to play more for you.
Number's going to be the loss of Jamie.
hip to my living. My next number is going to be Polly Wolly Doodle.
This is the one-on-one finals here at the West Carter Lady Comets basketball camp 1989. Say hi. See? You can talk into it. Talk into it. You talkative? Say something. Well, don't say something. This is the one-on-one finals here at the West Carter Lady Commons Basketball Camp for 1989. You two the best ones? And she's going to tell us just a little bit about the camp in general. How many campers did you have here?
We had a total of 45 campers in all. That includes our morning and our afternoon session.
What's the difference between morning and afternoon session?
Well, in the morning you have 3rd graders through 5th graders, and in the afternoon you have 6th through 8th.
How long is a session?
It's 3 hours long.
Okay. If anyone was interested for next year, how do they get in touch?
Well, what we do is Coach Brown and I go out and we talk to all the elementary schools and pass out camp applications, and we tell them what the date is, what the cost, and when everything will be, and that'll be sometime next spring.
Okay, what kind of new skills do they learn?
Well, they're learning fundamentals, layups, how to dribble the basketball, shooting techniques, just how to play man-to-man defense, just fundamental basketball.
In other words, when they go back for next season, they're going to be real mean.
Well, they're going to be a little bit more prepared than the girls that didn't attend the camp.
Okay, so it's wise to attend to get a head start.
Yes, they should.
Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is Chris Owen, Channel 14 Sports, taking Mike Barker's place. Ha ha.
The girls are going through the last part of the finalist contest here at the basketball camp, which will be ending shortly. There will be presentations of trophies and T-shirts coming up in just a few minutes.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. You're watching Hometown Television in Olivefield, Kentucky. This is Channel 14.
through the week, and we're going to ask this young lady to draw a name out of the hat, and draw a hat size out of here, okay? Draw a name out. Okay. And the winner of the basketball is Stacy Piper. Good job, okay? Thank you, young lady, for your assistance. That's a band of light right there. And ladies, it's been an enjoyable week. Coach Perry and myself, hopefully you've got something out of this camp. And hopefully, once the camp is over, you will not quit working this summer. Some of you young ladies will be playing basketball a little earlier than the high school next year, so you have 5 weeks of the summer left. Don't put the basketball down. I'm not saying come out and play basketball 8 hours a day, but 30, 40 minutes a day, that will be beneficial to you in the fall. There's a lot of potential out here. And, you know, in order to improve that potential, you've got to get out and play. Some individual awards out of the classes 3 through 6, grade, no, excuse me, 3 through 5. First of all, the hot shot champ in grades 3 through 5. That goes to Marla Gerhardt. The next one is the free throw. The free throw champ, Kimber Ravens. The one-on-one winner. Guess who? Marla Gerhardt. And for the camper of the week, guess who? Marla Gerhardt. Now the older division, grades 6 through 9. And our freshmen qualified for this camp this year, which we've done it the last 2 years. The hot shot winner, which she won it today with an outstanding of 45, and I think Laura Flannery finished second to that with 41, but the winner was Michelle Tabor. The free throw contest winner, which is a freshman out here at West, Laura Flannery. The one-on-one champion, which that one was a struggle, as BJ had to win twice in order to win the thing. BJ Hall. And the camper of the week, which is one of our freshmen out here, Lori Mays. Now, as you people well know, through the week in this older division, we had a 5-on-5 contest. We had 4 teams, and the team that won it was the San Francisco 40 Miners. And they were Melissa Miner's team. So the winners were Lori Sparks. You would come forward, please. Oh, she's down. Take that forward, please. Carla Brown. Good job. Michelle Garvin. By the way, this is what these look like. Amy Tackett. you coached also, right? Okay, I made it. Amanda Collinsworth. And the coach, Missy Minor. And I think that's all we have to give away. Girls, I hope you work this best this summer, and I hope to see you back in camp next year. Appreciate you coming out. Oh.
1989 Lady Comets basketball camp here at West Carter High.
Principal. And also during my experience as an educator, I was also active as a coach for 14 years.
Okay, very good. There's a question that probably will come to the mind of some of our viewers tonight on the cable system. Maybe, why did you choose to apply for the position of superintendent of Carter County?
That's a good question. In March, my family had the opportunity of taking a spring break from school, and we journeyed down to Florida because that's the place to take your spring break. And on the way back, we decided to stop at Bobby Morrison's, who had been a close friend of ours in Southwest Iowa. While here, Bobby informed myself of the superintendent's position. I went in and visited with the superintendent, and we looked over the country and were pleasantly surprised with the beauty of the country and felt this was a place for us. Also in the state of Iowa, we have 432 schools in the state. And in the state of Iowa, when you progress from a teacher to an administrator, such as a principal, to a superintendent, you have to go back down to the smallest schools, and our schools in Iowa vary from approximately 100 students in an entire school system to 2,000 students in a grade. And after being in education for the 16 years, I felt that I did not want to go back down to a school of 100 and start over, so I started looking for a school that I felt would be an educational school for my son Jesse, and also be a good move for my family. And this looked like the place for us.
Very good. We welcome you to this area, by the way, here in Carter County. There are a few questions that we've had brought to us of the future of Carter County schools and some of the ideas that we may have in education. As you probably know, the state Supreme Court of Kentucky has ruled that all school systems in Kentucky are unconstitutional. Do you think that you're qualified to participate in this new beginning in Kentucky schools, maybe with the court ruling?
I think every state in the United States is aware of that ruling. That has made the national headlines. In my opinion, I think it's a good opportunity for someone coming into the state, because at this point in time, I'm coming in with an open mind, and any changes that the state legislature makes, I think that I could fit into that groove and do a very good job of incorporating those into any district.
Very good. This is a new era for Kentucky in the ruling of the Supreme Court on this, so the future seems to be bright for the smaller school systems in this. When you hear the statement, a new beginning for Carter County schools, what do you envision as superintendent?
I guess I envision an emphasis or a focus of the staff, the non-certified staff, and the entire county on the education of the youth. I guess my feeling has always been, since I've been in education, that our job is to provide top quality education for our youth so we can prepare them for anything that they would choose to do after the completion of their senior year, be that going into the world of work or going on to college or into vocation of any type.
Okay. Do you plan to work with the parents and teachers organizations such as PTA?
Yes, very definitely. My wife and I have always been very active in any organization dealing with the school, be it booster club, PTA, you name it, we're active. And we do attend the activities. And don't be surprised if you see my wife and I working in the concession stands or riding on the school bus. We'll be there.
Well, that's the teamwork effort, and that's what makes it go. How often do you plan to visit the schools within the county?
I'd say as often as possible. That is one of my top priorities and always has been as an administrator. The better you know the staff, both certified and non-certified, the better you can address the issues that concern them. And the better job you do on that, the better education program you have for your children.
Some people have the question that at the present time that fine arts and music is taught on an itinerant basis. If space and funds are available, will fine arts be better supported or maybe changed in the future?
I think they would be better supported. I think by having itinerant teachers, you restrict the students in those areas from possible future careers in those areas, and those areas must be emphasized to the children at a young age, because you know as well as I do, if a student is turned off at the young age, they lose interest and they will not stay in that area as they get older. And also I think if you emphasize those areas and provide a teacher in the building all the time with access to the students interest stays higher, they develop fuller in that area, and I think the student will come back to the community later with jobs or opportunities to help the community.
At the present time, most teachers in the county do not have a preparation period. If money is available in the future, are you in favor of mandating maybe a planning period for every teacher?
Definitely. Teaching is not much different than any other job. In most fields of work, we have a coffee break in the morning, coffee break in the afternoon, and then there's also a lunch break. And after working with children, even though you love them and want to spend as much time with them, hopefully as a teacher, you do need that break. And during that break time, I think it gives you the time to refresh yourself and focus back on education, get back in the classroom again with the students.
Good. Vocational education seems to be the one of the new trends in education today that has been spiraling in the last 10 years or maybe 20 years. It's developing more. How will you support vocational education?
Very strongly. As you talk to economists in the various states, vocational education is a top priority. Telecommunications and computers are top in education now. And I think the more varied your vocational program, the more a school district is capable of keeping students in school, attaining a high school diploma, and getting them into the world of work where they can benefit society.
Well, Mr. Cross, we've enjoyed our visit with you this evening. Before we leave, do you have any comments or any closing remarks you would like to make to the people maybe watching Centel Cable this evening?
Okay, I've been in the community a couple of days with my younger son, Jesse, trying to find a house so we can move the rest of the family out here. And to tell you the truth, I'm very, very pleased with the people I've met so far. You have very congenial, honest, open people. I think they're very, very concerned about the education of their youth. And I guess that's the kind of community we're proud to be a part of. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We've been talking tonight with the Superintendent of Carter County Schools, who will assume office on July the 1st, Mr. Dwayne Cross. And we've been very pleased talking with him tonight, and we appreciate him taking time out of his busy schedule to be with us on our program tonight. This is Gary Irwin for Centel Cable Channel 14.